Not really sure I'm up to date on my tetanus shots, but we go from this to this. Ray Charles would be really proud of me. I can tell you that right now. Let's go. All right, so this is pretty bad, right? We're gonna get rid of all that. And how we're gonna do it, so I have all these replacement parts. Sheet metal, I believe is from EMS. Yeah, EMS. Well, I got this quarter, that quarter, those two floor pan pieces, that piece, front fender pieces from EMS because those are the only ones that really kind of make this stuff. And then I got the inner and outer rockers on eBay, and you can definitely tell a difference in quality. These have like a coating on them to prevent rust. These ones do not. So that's going to be interesting to work with. Not a big deal. I'm still going to prime both of them. Anyway, what I want to do, obviously, is replace all these pieces and then blend the patina later. And I want to get rid of some of the stainless. I know some people might be mad at me for this, but I don't like this at all. And that's what causes the rust to begin with. See this side too, these are holes. I could probably, look at. Yeah, so that's bad. So I want to get rid of all this stainless. I'm going to fill in the holes all along here, fix some of the stuff back here, and then blend the patina in. That's my plan. I don't know if that's all going to happen in this episode, but I'm going to get as far as I can. But I am going to start out with is the passenger side, rockers, and rear quarter. And then I'll move over to the drivers, kick pan, floor pan, body mount, and then the rockers after that. And then just keep working away. So first thing we got to do, start cutting stuff up, I guess. So let's get to that.
Come on.
And this is why we are replacing them. All that dirt and rot. Good stuff, huh? These actually seem pretty solid, which is pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna patch any of this. I'm just gonna give that a coat of rust converter and then prime it. And the way that this works, so the floor pan's on top of the rocker, and you can see all the spot welds for the rocker, which is on the inner rocker. So it's like sandwiched all in, and I don't want to have to deal with that, to be honest with you. On this side, I don't have to because I'm not removing the floor pans. So I'm going to actually trim this up right up to the edge of it, and then I'm going to overlap it. So it'll buck up right against the floor pan is kind of my goal. And then I will spot weld it over top that because I don't have to deal with the inner structure or anything like that. Just make it kind of simpler on myself. And once you paint it, cover it with seam seal, whatever, you'll never know. Yeah, this stuff's bad. And lead is bad. Wear a respirator, wear proper ventilation stuff because you do not want to breathe that garbage in. But I did basically heat that up and scrape that out with a wire brush. Man, what a bunch of junk. And yeah, obviously I took the door off because it's a lot easier to get at this section here. It's going to make my life a ton easier than trying to work around that. So next up, I got these spot welds down here to drill out on the lower rocker to the front rocker. And then I might actually even just like grind that flush and then put it right over top. That'd be a lot easier, right? let's see how bad this is. Let's clean this up first, get this cut back, and go from there. What I said before, turns out, was a lie. Once you start cleaning it up and grinding on it, it's pretty rot. All down here, a little bit up in here. So, I think, because I already have the panels, I may as well put them in, right? Do it right. So, yeah. I actually think I'm gonna just start cutting this out. See how far I get on that, how far up I gotta go. Because I don't want to use like the whole panel. I don't want to have to do the whole thing all the way up, because the lower it is, the less you're gonna notice it, the less work I gotta do. So yeah, okay. I'm gonna scribe out where I want to cut here and just start cutting that out, and then figure out, because the inner rocker goes all the way back, and I have to tie all of that in first before I can start put this piece on, and then I want to work forward and put the rocker on from there. Yeah, that's a plan. I have no plan, to be honest with you, if you haven't noticed. Plus, I've never done anything quite this extensive, so this is interesting. All right, got the majority of the crap cut out of there. That is a dent. Ugh. Maybe I'll pound that out. I don't know why I'm just noticing stuff. Anyway, cut out. It's cut out. It's out of the way. Looking at the inner rocker, it's pretty rot all throughout there. But I need to save, this piece is pretty solid because that's like structure for the lower quarter to go on, and this piece here, even though they're not attached to each other, which I find kind of weird. They're just kind of floating in space for some reason. Anyway, lower rocker. I went to go line mine up, and I was like, these don't even look the same. Of course they don't, because they're for a Plymouth. Thanks, eBay. So I messaged the seller. Hopefully I can get those in real quick, because I can't go any further until I have new ones of those. So that's gonna set me back. Also, I screwed up. See the stamping difference between this side and this side? Yeah, that's for convertible hardtop. That's for what I have. That's not a big deal. I'm just gonna trim it to fit anyway, and it's still the same shape, and I'm only using sections of it, not the whole thing. So whatever, they cost the same. It's just, that's something to keep in mind if you're doing this. Make sure you order the correct one for your car. Cool. Yeah, I got that off. I'm kind of glad I'm doing it the right way, because if I didn't do it the right way, obviously this dirt would all still be in there, and that would be bad, and it would just keep falling out of the car. Yeah. Oh, side note, Amazon spot weld hole driller thing, spot weld driller. These are the shit. Like, it made such easy work of that. I just made little dimples with an 1/8 inch bit, got right there, in each spot weld, and then I used that thing in it and just ate it so quick. And it comes with so many of them, and that thing's not even being close to worn out yet. So that's a score. I'm gonna keep going. I have this section to take out yet, and kind of figure out how far in I gotta go based on the inner rocker or outer rocker, because I don't have the inner rockers, and then keep going on that section there. Let's see how far I can get, but I can't go too far because I don't know how far I can go. All right, I got everything cut back, so I got a good foundation to start with when I get my new inner rockers. For the inner rockers here, I just kind of like left some down, and I might just overlap it and then weld it to that piece there, because this like goes up all inside there, and I don't want to like just start taking that apart for no reason if this metal is all good. So I'll just trim it to fit this section and go from there. Everything else cleaned up really well. And then I got my edge here that I'm gonna have to like make that panel fit over top of, and I can actually scribe it on the backside because I want to butt weld it. Butt weld it? Sure, butt weld it? I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna a tight seam and then weld it all the way along. That's the plan. I'll fill in these holes, and I gotta work to get this trim off here because it has holes underneath there, and I'll fill all those in too. But for now, because I gotta wait, I'm gonna jump over to the driver's side. Fastest service ever. Literally, it's the next day, but I messaged the seller last night, and it showed up on my doorstep today. So yeah, we have it in our rockers. That means that we can continue on to finishing up the passenger side before we move on over to the driver's side. That's pretty freaking awesome. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Let's get these things mocked up in there. Actually, no, I lied. I'm gonna take out the rear end of the gas tank, and then I'm gonna get these mocked up in there. Got the fuel tank out, but I'm gonna leave the rear end in for right now until I get to all of that, because I actually got my new rear end in today, if you can see it right over there. What else? I sprayed everything down with metal prep. The POR 15, POR 15, whatever you want to call it, metal prep, and then neutralize it. There you go, with water. So that should be good to go now. So now I'm going to make the rockers, the inner rockers, fit this, and hopefully start tacking stuff up and no placement. So yeah, let's get to that now. Get some inner rockers in there. Got it fitting up pretty good. I'm just gonna end up stitch welding this section here, and then where it meets up with the floor brace here, I'll spot weld those in. I just have small marks marked out to make sure that I was right in place with that, and then stitch weld this over here, and then do a couple spot welds on the backside here to tie it in right there to give it some strength. But this is gonna work out great. It's exactly where it needs to be right now. And I got it sectioned out here, so this will just get stitch welded. Yeah, so now I'm gonna, I guess, clean this up, grind down the areas that need to be ground down, and then hit all the areas that are gonna be covered up with some weld through primer. And then I guess let's weld this piece in and then work off from there. Just like that, we've got an inner rocker. Just spot welded it everywhere, stitch welded it there, but it's nice and solid. Good foundation to build off of. Next up, I'm gonna be working on this section here. Try to get that straightened out and hopefully get that welded in tonight. All right, kind of got it mocked up in place where I want it. I had to cut this lip section off so I could get it fit tight up here. I accidentally cut a little bit too much out right there, but not really worried about that. I'll fill that in later. But my thought process is, because it's pretty tight against here, I'll be able to push it tight. And because I have access back there, I'm gonna scribe it and then just kind of sneak up on it as I cut it in order to get it fit perfectly as a butt weld. So I got it fitting pretty decent. And my main concern is this section here, right? Because that's where the two curves meet up, and you want that the prettiest, and then work your way, I think, from front to back. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, because you can see, like, once I line that up, like, I can easily push this in and that'll line up and I got a gap. But back here, it's just too much. And if I push this in too far, it pushes that in too far. So I think that if I put a few spot welds on this section here, after I prep everything and get it ready, I'm gonna, I gotta make holes. I'm just thinking out loud. I gotta make holes down here for spot welds, a few in here for spot welds to weld to that. And then once I start putting heat to it, I think it'll just kind of flow itself over. That's my thought, my plan. I've never done this before, especially on such compound curves like this. It'll be interesting. But that's my mindset. That's my plan. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, that is some difficult work. I have never done this before. I've never done quarters before. I've done like floor pans and stuff before, stuff that doesn't matter, but to get this all to line up and to be as smooth as possible and weld. So I pretty much have, as far as I kind of want to go on this, a little skim coat of Bondo ain't gonna hurt anything. But it's nice and flows with a line. I got this line good. I still have to finish weld all this and then grind that flush, but it's pretty late at night and we're gonna pick that back up tomorrow. Test fitting my rocker up, trimmed it all out, and I got it fitting in here pretty dang good, but it's got a little bit of a spring back to it and it's got to come down quite a bit, and I don't know how down it's got to go or how far in it's got to go without the door on there. So what kind of sucks is I got to put the door back on in order to get my spacing correct, and then tack weld it in, take the door back off, and then finish weld it in. So I'm gonna work on that right now, is prep this for weld, and then throw the door on, like I just said, tack this in place, and then finish weld it. Oh, also, because these are an eBay special, they don't have the factory curve. There's a little bit of a curve in here from the fact, like this one has a little bit of a curve. So it's got, I don't know if that's gonna bother me or not, or if you're never gonna see it because it's a patina car. That's what I'm gonna go with. We're just gonna make it look okay-ish. Well, that was a pain, but I got it locked in. So I basically started with my gap up top here and the body lines, made sure everything was lined up, door gap on the back. And then I lined up the rocker so that I have a consistent gap all the way across. It's a little bit tighter to the front, but it's close enough for a patina car. I mean, look at the rest of this thing. We're not doing show car stuff, but it's not hitting anything. We got a nice, fairly consistent gap. So I like it. Time to burn this thing in. Went ahead and filled in all the little holes from the trim. And the big holes. That is going to work just fine for what this car is and for my skill level. Yeah, a lot done. So up next, I think I'm going to give it some Bondo, but I think this is where I'm going to call it for this one. If you have a welder and a grinder, I highly encourage you guys to go out and tackle exterior metal bodywork yourself. I've never done exterior metal bodywork in my life, and this is the result. I'm really pleased. Like I've done like floor pans and stuff like that, but nothing exterior wise. And I believe that a skim coat of Bondo, this could be a finished product on a nice car. Obviously that's not what we're gonna do here. We're gonna maintain the patina and blend the patina, but it's very rewarding to know that, hey, I did it myself. I saved myself some money and I acquired a little bit more of a skill set. So yeah, do it. I encourage it. Use YouTube, not this video, but other videos on how to, and put it to practice. It's a good time. Yeah, if you guys made it this far in the video, I really appreciate it. Consider hitting that subscribe button and drop me a like. Got a lot more to go on this car. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I've got so many options because there's so much to do, but I'm just gonna keep the videos rolling and keep putting this, this project out there. So thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you later.